But before we get started, I want to introduce my first guest, who is actually my first guest ever. So he ultimately had to be my first guest here on the Kidney Corner. Paul Novarita. And I'm going to tell you what, I know I got that name right because we went over it so many times in the first show. And he's like a dear old friend now. But I want to share what this mild-mannered gentleman from South Florida, down in South Florida, is really all about here. This is Paul Novarita, everybody. Say, buddy.
Hey, Sam, good to see you always.
I wanted to give you that good intro. I tried to do that. I tried to do that last time that we talked. And it seems like it's been a long time ago. Tell everybody about yourself. And if you could, let everyone know what having a kidney transplant's done in your life for you.
Sure. Oh, definitely. And first want to say thank you for that great intro. And yes, we connected that last time. You're right. We should have left it recording. We had a great conversation. Hopefully, we can revisit a lot of that today. So so my name, as Sam got it right, my name is Paul Novarita, and I'm a kidney transplant recipient, going on 32 years this September. My father basically gave me that kidney and saved my life and gave me a much needed second chance at life. And I basically took full advantage of that second chance at life, and I pursued my dream of being a professional extreme sports athlete. I had always been into BMX bikes, skateboarding, snowboarding, even breakdancing, rollerblading, and rollerblading is kind of where it all happened for me and where I've been focused the last 25 years. And that's I became the only pro rollerblader in the world that I'm aware of to compete at the pro level after having a kidney transplant.
Paul is a vert ramped rollerblader, but the person who asked this, who goes around on Instagram asking everybody to do kick flips. Paul has done a little work with him before, haven't you, Paul? Tony Hawk?
You bet, yes. And if we go way back, my roots are actually in BMX racing, BMX freestyle, and skateboarding. And so that's where I really learned my foundation skills when I took it over to rollerblading and to become successful at that sport. It was because of that foundation of skateboarding and BMX. And yes, I was honored and blessed to have the privilege of doing, I think 3 or 4 shows with Tony Hawk, several years ago. And so that of course was a highlight of my career, being paid to skate with Mr. Hawk, which I would have gladly wrote him a check.
Yeah.
To let me skate with him.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, he wrote me a check.
I was just watching an interview on YouTube here. Hey, I'll plug YouTube. YouTube's been good to me. I was just watching an interview of Ryan Sheckler on YouTube, and
Ryan
he said, he's a professional. Those of you who don't know who he is, he's a professional skateboarder. And he said when he was like 6 years old, his dad just randomly somehow contacted Tony Hawk, didn't know Tony Hawk, and he just showed up at his birthday party because that was just, and like didn't ask for nothing, just asked what kind of cake they were going to have, I think he said. But just kind of shows what kind of guy we're working with.
Oh, yeah, he's a great ambassador to the sport. Very, some people thought there might have been tension between the BMXers and the rollerbladers and the skateboarders. You really don't find that when it comes to the professional level on the big ramps.
Yeah.
And Tony Hawk has been a great ambassador to the sport. He's 1 year older than me, so I think he's 53, and he's still killing it too.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he is Tony Hawk. That's why he's Tony Hawk. He invented 80% of the tricks that you see the skateboarders doing today.
Hey, so Paul, when you said you were doing BMX and skateboarding prior, were you vert ramp? Were you riding BMX vert ramp?
It started off with BMX racing in the early 80s. And one day I was at the racetrack and I saw in the distance somebody had built a very shoddy looking quarter pipe curved ramp against a telephone pole. And I saw somebody ride up, do a little trick, and come back down. And I said, that's what I want to do right there. And from that day forward, all of my energy went focused towards the big curved ramps.